The Circus of Shadows. The sun had just dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the desolate field that hosted the ominous circus. A cold breeze whispered through the air, carrying with it a sense of foreboding. Despite the unease that tugged at my gut, my curiosity pushed me forward, lured by the macabre allure of the twisted spectacle before me. My parents held my hands tightly as we stepped through the creaking entrance gate. A chill ran down my spine, but my parents' reassuring smiles kept me grounded. As we stepped inside, the world seemed to darken, as if the sun had given up its fight against the malevolent energy that engulfed the circus grounds. We wandered through the maze-like entrance, greeted by a mirror maze. I giggled as my reflections twisted and turned, fascinated by the distorted funhouse effect. But as we ventured deeper, the mirrors seemed to conspire against us. Our reflections began to morph into nightmarish versions of ourselves, grinning menacingly as if taunting us. Panic bubbled up within me as I realized my parents were no longer holding my hands. I was lost, surrounded by mocking reflections. Desperation pushed me forward. I stumbled through the maze, heart pounding, tears blurring my vision. Each twist and turn only led me deeper into the labyrinth, and the sense of being watched by unseen, malevolent eyes intensified. Desperation clawed at me within the confines of the mirror maze, the walls distorting my sense of reality. My heart pounding, I stumbled through the labyrinth, my breath ragged. In a moment of clarity, fueled by fear and determination, I found an opening and burst through the exit, gasping for air as the chilling breeze hit my face. I frantically scanned the surroundings, but my parents were nowhere to be seen. My pulse raced with a potent mixture of worry and resolve, propelling me to continue my journey into the unknown. I stepped forward, each footfall echoing my determination as I ventured toward the shadowy entrance of the animal tent, my heart heavy with the absence of those I sought. The animal tent loomed before me, its entrance shrouded in darkness. The night was filled with eerie sounds, mournful cries and guttural growls that sent shivers down my spine. I hesitated at the entrance, my heart racing. I ventured to the animal tent, expecting the usual array of exotic creatures. However, what I found were creatures that seemed like they had crawled out of nightmares. Eyes that glowed with an unnatural light followed my every move as I passed by enclosures filled with grotesque hybrids, a twisted mockery of nature. The air was thick with an acrid stench, and I hurried away, haunted by the haunting cries of these tormented beings. The tent seemed to stretch on forever, each step leading me deeper into the heart of the nightmare. As the night wore on, I found myself at the main tent, drawn by a haunting melody that tugged at my memories. Inside, a broken music box played a tune that seemed both familiar and eerie. The ringmaster stood tall and imposing at center stage, his top hat casting a shadow over his face. He gestured for me to watch the performers, but their acts were a grotesque parody of entertainment. Acrobats twisted and contorted their bodies in ways that defied reason, their limbs bending at unnatural angles. Among the performers was a clown, its presence an unsettling contrast against the surreal melody. Its chalk-white skin stretched taut over its skull, forming a grotesque mask. The clown's lips were painted a deep, blood-like red, the grin so wide it seemed to split its face in half. Its eyes, pools of darkness, held an unsettling mirth as it juggled not colorful balls but human hearts. The thumping beats of the hearts seemed to synchronize with the melody, creating a disconcerting rhythm that echoed through the tent. The audience, composed of shadowy figures, erupted in applause, their cheers a cacophony of twisted delight. My heart raced as I struggled to comprehend the grotesque display before me, the unease in my chest deepening with every passing moment. As the unsettling spectacle unfolded, my breath grew shallow, my young mind grappling with the horrors laid bare before me. Amidst the chilling applause, a sudden hush fell over the audience as the ringmaster's gaze fixed upon me. With deliberate steps, he approached, his voice a sibilant whisper cutting through the air. "Applause, my dear child," he hissed, the sinister grin ever present on his shadowed face. "Show your appreciation to our performers, or else you shall share in their fate." His words hung in the air like a poisoned promise. I felt my heart race as the weight of his demands settled upon me. The grotesque clown's eyes bore into mine, its grin never faltering, a silent reminder of the heart-juggling display I had just witnessed. The choice was clear, the consequences unthinkable. My small hands trembled as I joined in the applause, the cacophony of twisted delight once again engulfing the tent, as if to drown out the terror that now gripped my heart. But as the first light of dawn began to break, the mist that had shrouded the circus began to dissipate. Confusion clouded my senses as I blinked against the sudden brightness, disoriented by the shift from the nightmarish realm within the tent. My head spun, trying to reconcile the grotesque performances I had witnessed with the reality of the emerging morning light. It was then that I realized with a jolt of both relief and trepidation that I stood outside the circus tent, my heart pounding in my chest. The details of how I had escaped the clutches of the horrors remained as elusive as fragments of a fading dream. I turned to see my parents standing at the edge of the tent, their faces etched with confusion rather than relief. They had no recollection of the terrors I had faced, the unspeakable acts that had unfolded within the macabre circus of shadows. The chilling uncertainty settled over me like a heavy fog, an unsettling reminder that the line between reality and nightmare had blurred beyond recognition.